Hello everyone, I am Alexander Kolomeyets, and in this video I'm gonna tell you about one of my projects. It's a piece of software that brings object-oriented capabilities in C. In this video I will not dive into classes implementation, I just show you how end user can use already written classes without creating their own. So first of all, let's take a look at our base classes. Here we have PG object. It's a class. It's a base class for all our classes. So every class inherited from PG object, and PG object is inherited from itself. And also we have PG class. It's a class for describing all instances. It's also inherited from PG object. Here we interested in only in few members. First of all, class. It's a public static property of PG object that stores the instance of PG class that describes all instances of PG object. Next we have again public static property class that holds the instance of PG class that describes all instances of PG class. Next we have public final method new instance for creating new instances. I use reference counting as my garbage collector, so PG object has two public final methods, ref and unref, which respectively increases the reference counter of instance or decreases. When the reference counter of instance is equals to 0, the instance is immediately destroyed. Now take a look a little bit at syntax. Here I have Java code and C code. In Java, when we want to access property name, property of object, we should type object name dot property name. In C, we should type object name arrow property name. To access static property, in Java we should type class name dot property name. In C we should type class name underscore property name. To call the method, in Java we should type object name dot method name. In C we should type class name to which this method is belong underscore method name and pass our object as first parameter. To call static method in Java, we type class name dot method name. In C, we type class name underscore method name. So when the syntax is clean, let me show you the first example. In this example, we will create two instances of PG object. Store them in variables A and B, and then using third variable C we swap these two values. So to create new instances we have new instance method of PG class. We need an instance of PG class that describes all instances of PG object. We already seen that such instance stored in class property of PG object. So we just need to call new instance on that property. In Java this line looks like this. So next we want to swap these two variables. First of all, we need to assign A to C, but we cannot just assign A to C. Before that we need to increase reference counter of instance that's stored in A to show that this instance will be stored not only in A but in C too. So we call ref method on A and then we can assign A to C. Next we should assign B to A. Again, as in previous step, we should increase the reference counter of instance stored in B by calling the ref method. But also we have to decrease the reference counter of instance that's stored in A variable to show that we don't need this instance anymore. So we call this method on A, then we call ref on B, and then we can assign B to A. Next we assign C to B, and then we clear the C variable because we don't need it anymore, and at this point A and B successfully swapped. You can notice that it's a very huge code for such a simple operations, so I introduce you some new methods and macros. Here we have a new method. It's a public static method of PG object that creates a new instance of PG object for us. Next we have two macros, pgref and pgunref. pgref calls the ref method on A if it's not null, and returns the passed value. pgunref calls unref method on passed variable if it is not null, then assign null to passed variable and returns it. So after these substitutions, the code is much more clean, readable, and convenient. In the next example, we created a new checkbox with x coordinate 13 and y coordinate 1. Then we assign new values to it and count offset. So what we're interested in here is how we access public properties. To access public properties x, we type checkbox arrow x. In Java, to access public property x, we type point.x. So next example, here we create empty stack and two instances and push them on that stack. To push instance on the stack, we use public method push of class pgstack. To call this method, we type pgstack underscore push and pass our stack as first parameter. In Java, we just need to type stack.push and all. It's all. In this example, let me explain. There are two classes, pg class and pgq. They are both has static properties class. So in this example, we swap these properties, and after that, when we call pgq new, the new stack is created, and vice versa. When we call pgstack new, the new queue is created. So the thing is that to access public static property class of pgstack, we type pgstack underscore class. In Java, to access public static property out of class system, we type system.out. In the next example, we read the content of a file and store it in the content variable as string. We are interested in this line. We have a class pgreader, and this class has public static final property end of file. So here we check for equality code point and this public static final property end of file. We can access its value, but we cannot modify it. Next example, here we print hello world to the standard output stream. Standard output stream is a singleton, so it has a static method get instance. To call it this method, we type pg standard output stream underscore get instance. Again, the thing is to call static method get instance, we type pg standard output stream underscore get instance. In Java, to call static method, we type border factory dot create empty border. So this video already a little bit long, so I just say that there are also public final properties, problems with public final properties, and other problems, variadic methods. For all public members there are corresponding private members, except for final methods. There are final methods, inheritance, method overriding, interfaces, abstract classes, abstract methods, and much more. Here you can see all classes that I wrote, and now I will show you a program that I wrote using these classes. Let me build it. I will show you this program only to show you that this object-oriented system working. So here is a simple file manager. We can type H for help. Here we can view the name of the directory we're currently in. We can list all files in this directory. We can view some files in this directory. For example, this file has 2 lines in it. We can create new files. Program accepts UTF-8 names. We can create directories. So that's all the program. So I think that's all. Thank you for the time. Goodbye.